All right, as I promised from the last video, I didn't even make like a minute ago. This video I said was going to be about Frieza and an army that he has against the United Planets. First thing that needs to get done is who would win in this conflict. Better yet, not just that, but who'd come out on top? Would he be the first person to defeat the United Planets? Or would he be the first person to lose to a bunch of apes? Let's see what happens today. I'll tell you the answer might just shock you. So Frieza and his 1 million men. First things first, we need to get the numbers and who has the better equipment out of the way. Numbers. The United Planets has the numbers. Definitely has the numbers. You're facing 1 million against 57 million. That automatically is going to be putting Frieza and his forces under a lot of stress. Even if you have better equipment and you're an alien race trying to invade another planet, the fact that you're outnumbered that badly automatically puts you at a severe disadvantage. Because yeah, you could kill like half of those guys, but if they can rebuild that number easily, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to hurt them the same way. So I see someone else is here. Who is this? And they left. Well then, let's do equipment. Who has the better equipment? I thought this was going to be an easy one to discuss, but it is not just the advancement of the equipment, but how the equipment fights against you. And this one is actually a lot more even than I thought. Frieza has the more advanced equipment, but the United Planets has equipment that could go toe-to-toe with his. That not only is completely against it, but it is the complete opposite. That means it can go straight through and attack Frieza. The equipment that they have, like proton torpedoes, direct energy weapons, this can go and basically fight right into Frieza. He's not safe here, but also with kinetic weapons, which Frieza's ships are not very good at defending against. Not very good at all. Oh my god. He can't defend against kinetic weapons. And it makes a lot of sense as to why. His ships are made to withstand massive blows from energy weapons, not fucking kinetic weapons. So this is the first time I've seen somebody take an equal equipment advantage with the United Planets. This is the first time that anyone has equalized the equipment. It's like, it doesn't matter how advanced your equipment is. If our equipment can completely counter yours, there's really no winning that war, even if you have the better equipment. And the fact that we could produce it better and produce our equipment with more ease, now you see the problem. And in a long fight, the equipment advantage will go to the United Planets simply because they are fighting on their terms. Compare damage and, yeah, comparing damage. Whose ships and stuff can do more damage? Frieza can destroy an entire planet with his army. But with the United Planets, a single 50-pound reality breaker can alter the universe and possibly existence itself. So you already know that's bombs. So let's talk about the other weapons like pistols, assault rifles, everything that the United Planets has. And when I look at it, the armor of the United Planets, they can take some serious heat. I mean, Telitium itself has a very, very high melting point. So plasma would most likely melt, but it wouldn't melt completely through the armor. So a plasma or an energy weapon would not do much damage. But a kinetic weapon against its forces would do some serious damage. Even if they have superpowers, it only takes one bullet to the head and they're done. It does not take much to kill them. So if they could possibly suppress fire while Sniper can dome Frieza or do all that, Frieza's gone. Or he's going to be incredibly wounded, and he may just quit the invasion because he realizes they're way too strong. So, in my opinion, this is going to go to the United Planets. Cost efficiency. That also goes to the United Planets. Why? Even though their cost is incredibly low comparison to Frieza's, their weapons are complete counters to Frieza's. So that is kind of the thing here. It doesn't matter how well your weapons are in advanced tech. If it has a counter, you need to find a way to counteract that counter. And the United Planets has even made a counter to its proton torpedoes. Oh shit. But yeah, it found a way to counter its own proton torpedoes with electric counter smoke measures. That's literally how they did it. Electric smoke. That's the counter. Frieza would probably have no idea how to fight proton torpedoes. And when they're coming out of tubes, coming at you like Mach 3 or 4, that's going to do some heavy damage. That will do damage. Sure, you could probably target a few of them, but eventually a handful of those torpedoes will break through and hit your ship. It's only a matter of time before those torpedoes just break through your defensive line. And this is why the cost efficiency is going to go for the United Planets. It isn't just a one-sided. This is a one-sided fight in terms of cost efficiency. So, to me, this is automatically discipline. Discipline is a lot more even than I thought it would be. You see, Frieza, it rules by fear, but that doesn't build discipline. That builds a fear. Discipline is built when you have pride. What happens when you have a pride in your country? That discipline is going to be the main strength of the United Planets. It is a sheer strength, the morale. Who has a higher morale? If Frieza can manage to make them fear the United Planets and his 1 million men fear the United Planets, I think he could have higher morale in this case. The X Factor. Now, the X Factor is not going to be working in the favor as you think it will be. Because Frieza has enemies, and Frieza also has allies. Beerus may just decide to stop by the United Planets and see what the hell is going on, so maybe that might influence some of the fighting. But in order to make this fight, I guess, a lot more interesting, I'm going to leave out the X Factor. Maintenance. As stupid as it sounds, Frieza's forces have a higher maintenance. Why? He's going to have a very, very advanced force that could be millions or even billions of years more advanced than the United Planets, even though the United Planets' weapons can counter his completely. Don't ask me how that works. But I could tell you, even if you have higher advanced equipment, if you are fighting your counter, it will not matter. That's why you never put something that is super, super strong against its weakness, because it will fall. It's only strong as it is when its weakness isn't around. Once its weakness is around, that's when its true strength is shown. Just how good is it at its weakness? Economy. That will definitely not go to Frieza. But resources, on the other hand, is going to go to Frieza. It's obvious who that would go to. That man owns a big chunk of their galaxy, the Sand Galaxy, along with a good portion of existence. How are you supposed to win against an empire that size with so many other species within its ranks? You don't. Not with resources like that. But when the United Planets' economy can sustain such a long war, but yet Frieza doesn't have an economy, that means the moment he loses a lot of resources and he can't get any more, he can't buy anymore, he can't trade anymore, he has to steal them, which costs even more resources just to steal them. So the moment he's out, he can't get more. So that's why technological research. This is going to start being where tech research goes to Frieza. But even if he manages to find a counter to the proton torpedo. They could find a way to hit Frieza even with the proton torpedo counter. The United Planets can still find that way. And once they do, what's Frieza going to do then? He's going to have to find a way to counter that. Territory. Who owns definitely more territory? And it's definitely the United Planets. Oh, it's even. It is now even. Who? It's obvious who has more territory. Do I really need to explain it again? I don't think I need to explain it again. I've already said Frieza owns more than 1,000 planets. Actually, he owns probably like a couple billion planets. So it doesn't even matter, does it? It's already given that he's going to have more planets under his control. And finally, industrial capacity. Who has the capacity to maintain themselves in the long war? Better yet, who is going to have a better shot at fighting this? So let's go over the two sides and just how much stuff they can produce. Frieza, it took Frieza thousands of years to build an army. It took him such a long time to build it. The United Planets, it can take them 2 months to build an army of 200 million. Frieza took that same amount of time. It took him nearly 2 years. Sure, you could say, well, he's got more advanced equipment. But if you have a more advanced nation, shouldn't you be able to build more of your stuff quicker? I mean, we can build millions of guns today like it's nothing, but back then that was such a task to be done. So why is Frieza falling behind in this category? He should not be falling behind in this category. The industrial capacity. So let's see who wins what. Crossing out equipment, as it's the only equivalence. The United Planets has the numbers, comparable of damage, cost efficiency, the discipline, economy, and the industrial capacity to fight, while Frieza has his morale, high maintenance, resources, tech research, and territory. Now, Frieza, if he only has 1 million men, this is a very limiting fight. He only has so much time before the United Planets just defeats his 1 million men. So he has to fight with as much as he can, as hard as he can. The moment he loses a battle that is very important, he's going to lose the war outright. So he needs to be careful what he does. The United Planets has the ability to fail over and over again and learn from their failures. And the next time they'll come back, they'll be even more powerful. That is the reason why my verdict is going to determine that in a major engagement, only a minor victory of the United Planets would occur. Keep in mind, this is only 1 million. I've even calculated what would happen if maybe 100 million of Frieza's men come into play. So numbers still would be in the United Planets' favor because they can just get more men. Comparison of damage. But Frieza is going to have a lot more men than just 100 million. He may even have a couple billion. So the United Planets will not have numbers on their side. But I also do think that at that point, maintenance will go to the United Planets. So to me, this is what I'm going to be seeing, even if Frieza's military is a 5.2 out of 10. A potential tie. A potential tie. Why? Frieza's ships cannot counter kinetic weaponry. Railguns especially. Have you seen the railguns on capital ships belonging to the United Planets? Those will rip right through his shielding. Those could rip right through his hull. Shielding can easily get drained by energy weapons. So once those energy weapons drain that shielding, all of those kinetic weapons are just going to bombard his ships and completely devastate his navy. There's no way he's winning that invasion if the United Planets can constantly build and have the capability to keep building over and over the same amount of ships. Let me put this in perspective. Do you know how long it took to build a single M1 Abrams comparison to a single tank back then, it does take longer. You're right, it does take longer. The only problem, they can build, that's when you build multiple Abrams. It takes 2 weeks to build a batch of M1A2 Abrams, and it can take up to 2 months. That's only a batch, which is generally 10 to 15 Abrams, so that's pretty decent speed. Matter of fact, that could be even quicker than many tanks. That's probably going to be the similar thing with the Frieza. However, that's when you have an economically advanced nation, like such as the United States. But when you are conquering multiple species that have different needs and wants, they're going to work at different speeds. So for Frieza, he will never have a full force to fight with. He will never have a full force to fight. That will be his downfall. Even if he has a numerical advantage, that will be his ultimate downfall. He will not be able to supply all those men with every single thing, which is why I put equipment as equal. That's why I also put comparison of damage on the United Planets side. The United Planets can do that. They can build an army that has multiple billions. They have that ability to create such advanced weapons. And that's why the United Planets will only have a minor victory in this case. Even if with 100 million men, they will have only a slight advantage. That advantage is enough to completely win that war for them. So now that I'm finally done, the next video, I have no idea. So I'm just going to say same thing. Put hashtag suggestion in the comments. I will be reading your guys' suggestions, and then I will research it and do a video the next time we do this. But I'm going to be doing another Cody VA story time with the next video. So if you do put a suggestion, it will be after the story time video. And I want people to understand that this story time video was going to be very, very hurtful. Like this one was just, this didn't need to happen, but it did. So and honestly, it's just a part of life, but there's just many things you don't say to people. There's just many you do not say. So we're done. I'm done here. So you guys liked it. Don't even got to subscribe. Just tell me in the comments you liked it. Tell me you don't. Don't even got to hit the like button. That's up to you guys completely. So that being said, I guess that's going to be it for today's video. So why does it always do that double capitalization shit? I don't understand. Like it just E capital N. Like oh yes, this is a special guest down here. Don't you yell at me. No. What are you yelling at me for? You're a turd. This is old. It's old. If you were hearing yelling right now, it's the old one. It's the old cat right here. But anyway, are you gonna say goodbye to everyone? No, he says no. He says he's not going to. He's not right. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for the Cody VA story time. This one's going to be, it's one wild ride. Even he said it. So I'll see you guys next time.